the sight of over 60,000 fans watching a Barclays Premier League match live in the UK. Want to be there? Simply switch your salary to Barclays and you could win. Switch to better and prosper with Barclays.
Well, a very good afternoon to you from wherever you're watching us from, Kenya without the borders, and if you're watching us online, www.citizentv.co.ke/live. This is Monday Football, where we give you everything football that has happened over the weekend, whether it's within Kenya or without the borders. That's why we've got very special guests in studio with us today. I start with Terry O'Neill. He's the chairman of MPD, My Professional Dreams Academy. I think you've seen what they've been doing in the country, from Mombasa to Kisumu to Kakamega and Nakuru this past weekend. We'll be talking about all that they have been doing. And Chris Amimo from Ligi Ndogo FC. We'll be talking about the FKFPL leagues. They've become monsters of their own. They've told FKF, you know what, we can do what we want. There are no league matches being played. You do what you have to do. And FKF says, actually, we are doing what we have to do. We are cancelling all the matches for the teams that didn't play, and all those teams will be dropped. That means 17 teams are going to be dropped from FKFPL. Only homeboys will remain if they prove that they went to play a match yesterday. All that coming up in the show today. But first, Bernardo.
Of course, Michael Kinyi, welcome back. It's been about 2 weeks. You know, in football, we say go for off-season. You're on season now. Welcome back, Karibu.
Thank you, asante sana.
I'm sure you're well rested.
Kidogo tu. Narudi mitini after this.
Absolutely. Of course, this afternoon we are honored to have Bwana Iqbal. We call him the Theo Walcott lookalike, of course, on the video segment here, the Xbox. And today we'll be teaching, and our lovely lady, of course, Linda, she'll be trying as much as possible to see if she can be able to defeat our very own resident player, that is Iqbal. Of course, the two will be competing against each other on the video segment. Also, we have our very own DJ Crossfit. Of course, he provides us the soundtrack, of course, some music, some interlude. And definitely, each time that he plays a certain song during the show, you know that it's time to make some money. Of course, that will be coming up later on in the show. And also this afternoon, remember, we started something last week whereby you were to answer several questions, answer one question, and there are some balls there. If my director can actually show you those balls. There are 20 balls to win. These are the official 2015-2016 English Premier League balls from Barclays, Kenya. Basically, you are to respond to one question. You get it correctly, and you'll be selecting who will be winning. Last week, we were able to select 5 winners. So today we're going to ask you a new question. If you're able to respond to it correctly, you'll be able to win one of those match balls. 5 have already been won, so there are 15 to go. Today we'll be able to decide who will be winning one. You have to basically like our Facebook page, and also you can send your response to 22422. I'll be asking the question right now so you can begin sending your response. The question for this afternoon is simple. Name the Liverpool striker who has Kenyan ties. Name the Liverpool striker who has Kenyan ties. Send your response to 22422 and like our Facebook page, and then put your response there, and we'll be able to select who the winner of those match balls will be. Wahiga.
Wow, Ndong. I can now allow you to take a glass of water. Quite a conversation there, but of course, this is what's coming up on Monday Football. Time now to take a look at the highlights. Well, coming up on Monday Football, SportPesa Premier League champions Gor Mahia go past the 70-point mark as Michael Engineer Olunga takes his goal tally to 17. Is there trouble in paradise as FKF clubs boycott weekend fixtures and Uncle Sam threatens to crack the whip? Arsenal continue their winning ways, edging out Everton after a historic win over Bayern Munich. And finally, who are the richest African footballers, and is there any Kenyan on that list? Find out shortly on Monday Football.
And indeed, Monday Football begins on the local front, where Gor Mahia FC managed to reign supreme against Sofapaka. Goal scorers for Kogalo were Ali Abondo and Michael Olunga, as the match ended in favor of the mighty Gor.
Right, well, AFC Leopards shared their spoils with Moroni Youth as the match ended 1-1 in Kisumu.
Carlos organized this one, and the Delta coming to the Delta. It's Bernard Makoli. What a shot that he takes for left side. Puts it in the net on the Delta. So a free kick to Buarodi. Dropped into the area. It's in the net. Again evading all the defenders. And they are going to blame themselves again. This one put into the net by Wellington.
Of course, before we continue, just to remind you, we also have a news poll question this afternoon. Basically, we want to get your sentiments regarding the following question. We are asking you, were Football Kenya Federation Premier League clubs justified in boycotting the weekend matches? Were the FKF Premier League clubs justified in boycotting the weekend matches? Of course, sending in responses using the hashtag. Remember, the hashtag is Monday Football. Tag myself, Michael Kinya, as well as Wahiga Mauro, and also Citizen TV Kenya. And also send your responses to 22422. Continue with the highlights of the weekend action, and Gor Mahia managed to sink Tusker FC, of course, by a solitary goal, and the goal was scored by one very own Michael Olunga. What that meant is the fact that Gor Mahia managed to have points past the 70-point mark, of course, making history.
It end like this, then they will end up on 70 points and solidify their position in the Premier League. Zigimana brings in the cross. This one has been pushed into the net. It's Michael Olunga. And in a very uncharacteristic style as well. It's not a Fabio 70th minute. Front office marker, who has been doing a good job keeping tabs of him. But this time round, Eugene Asikas doesn't get to remove the ball from the area.
In some other matches that took place this weekend, Mathare United drew 2-2 with Sofapaka at the City Stadium in a high-scoring affair. Noah Beach scored a penalty in the 18th minute before John Baraza levelled just before the break. Now in the second half, Beach restored Mathare's lead with their second goal, but once again Sofapaka struck back with a goal by Feli Mulumba. Here are those highlights.
Let's take a look at the Football Kenya Federation, of course, the countdown to the Football Kenya Federation elections. And the FKF Election Board has revised the dates for the national elections and postponed the date by almost a month to the 10th of December. The sub-branch elections will be taking place on the 26th of this month, with the branch elections being staged on the 3rd of December. The national elections will shift from the 14th of November to the 10th of December. Note those dates.
Well, for the last 1 month or so, we've been having the MPD, Safaricom MPD My Professional Dreams Academies trials that have been going on throughout the country. The MPD Academies are looking for 40 players from each of the centers they've had trials on. That is in from Mombasa, Kisumu, Kakamega, Nakuru, Thika, which is next, and Nairobi. Well, over the last weekend and 4 days, they were in Kisumu and Nakuru. We were able to catch up with the team with what they were doing in those activities, and this is what they had to tell us.
And I enjoy studying here in Kisumu and Kakamega and Mombasa. They're nice people. The two we come to do it is very good because we discover new talents in Kenya. This is a great challenge for the place. All coaches passing to do these selections is very, very nice because I find good talents in Mombasa and Kakamega and then Kisumu. It's very good. I find a lot of talent here. That's like Kenya have talent. I like the sport to have the Safaricom and MPD. All people work together. I think the all coaches enjoy more when go to next seat is I think is Nakuru. Most of the players don't know where's the good position for them. The coach, this is it. Coach need to identify where's the best position for these players. It happened here In the past, the same happened in Kakamega and Mombasa. And then he started to discover new talents, one change the position of the players. They're going to be a hard job because each if you take 14 players, it's going to be very, very, very hard because so you have a lot of the talents here. And this the 3 cities we passed already. And now you need to remember, you need to go to Nakuru, Thika, and Nairobi. More 3. I think it's going to be very, very hard to select all these players for the final day in Nairobi. But when they talk this one, they talk about Africa. In Africa, have a great talent. You say in Angola, have the same. There's a great talent. You don't have like this opportunity at the moment. Maybe one day Safaricom go to join in Angola for do this job. It's an interesting job because the things I see here is not happen all the time. They give opportunity to all young boys here for show your talent and then be selected for next the MPD Academy. If all the time happen things like that, I think it's going to be better, not just for Kenya, for Angola, Cameroon, wherever, all countries, because in Africa they have great talent in all Africa. This needs big support, big sponsors for doing this job, because this is a great thing to happen in Kenya. I'm very happy because I never worked in like a project like that. And see a lot of the young kids who come for try, you give them a chance to do your best. All kids enjoy. For me, if we can do this, this is my job. I take all players to put you in one academy because I have a lot of talent in Kenya.
Definitely there will be opportunity for them. We have one of our pillars. We have 7 pillars of development in Kisumu County, and one of them is developing and nurturing talent and sport. So within that framework, we should be able to accommodate those that have not been picked at the national level, and that they can also find opportunity to continue with developing their talent. We will set a budget just for this. We shall be able to support them. I know that some of them could have come without the necessary sporting gear. For example, boots. If we are requested, and this should come early enough, we should be able to organize some assistive resources that will help compete favorably with the others that are coming from the other parts of the country.
Well, I know you've got a lot of questions on the My Professional Dreams Academies and Safaricom's Next Generation Talent Search. With me in studio is Terry O'Neill, the chairman of MPD. Terry.
It's lovely to be here, Mike.
Welcome. First, maybe you tell us the question that everybody is asking is, why Kenya? How did My Professional Dreams end up in Kenya and not any other African country that has got a name for football?
I think the answer to that, Michael, is very straightforward. Kenya is incredibly fortunate to have a company called Safaricom. A company as big as they are who recognize that the youth, the development, the opportunity to give to the nation, they approached us, engaged us, came up with this wonderful initiative to discover Kenya's unfound talent, and here we are now delivering it as Safaricom Next Generation.
When the first time you're told that this company is Kenyan and they want you to look for talents in Kenya, what was the reaction?
The truth is that I was very skeptical about it. I needed to do a lot of research about it. I couldn't understand why West Africa was so successful and East Africa wasn't, other than a few individual players who had been developed. And I then, having done the investigation, realized that there was no pathway, no structure for the youth to be recognized, and importantly then to be developed after they're recognized.
Well, you've been to Mombasa, then Kakamega, then Kisumu and Nakuru. You've got 2 more, Thika and Nairobi to go.
Yeah.
How has it been for you guys coming all the way from Mombasa up to Nakuru?
The only way I can describe that is magnificent. And I mean that in a totally sincere and genuine way. When you have young footballers and their coaches coming from all kinds of backgrounds, for example, we had in Nakuru one coach bringing his team from 800 kilometers away to be part of the tryouts at Safaricom Next Generation. Another coach bringing his team 400 kilometers away. That's incredible commitment, and Every area we've been to, the welcome we've had has been magnificent. There's been huge numbers turning out. It was great to see recently people turning up dressed in Safaricom paint covered over their bodies, celebrating the occasion. Very, very special everywhere we've gone.
Well, you're looking for 40 in all these centres that you have. What happens then?
Okay, the important thing is, and when we say we're looking for 40, this is a real search to find Kenya's unfound talents. So if we go to one region and we see 44 fantastically talented footballers, boys and girls, and we go to another region and we identify 32, we'll take that line. We're not here to make the numbers game perfect. We're here to find Kenya's unfound talents. When we found the talent, and it's an average of 40 around the regions, we'll bring them then to the national finals. When they come to the national finals, they'll be part of the best from the nation, where we're going to discover Safaricom's next generation of 75 players who are going to come and join My Professional Dreams Academies in January at a school based here in Nairobi, and we'll develop them month after month. We'll have behind closed doors fixtures from the first quarter of the year. We'll have international fixtures from the first quarter. We'll have they'll be travelling to the Dubai International Super Cup to participate against teams from all over the world. We'll constantly be testing them month after month.
The biggest question would be from one of the questions I'm getting online on Twitter is that we've seen these initiatives before, and they always get to a certain point and they fizzle out. Those players are sent back to where they started, and there's been no real development out of all these talent searches that have been on. What is different about MPD Academies, and what kind of coaches are you using?
Okay, it's a really good question, and it's one I asked myself, can we ensure we deliver it? Otherwise I wouldn't have come to Kenya and delivered it. Yes, we can deliver it. Yes, it will be fulfilled. It will be over many years to come. And in answer to your question, why is this different? It's different because we're very lucky. We have Safaricom behind us. Safaricom have been out of football for many years. They've studied the projects. They know where they wanted to come into football. They've come in my opinion, in a very professional, correct direction. They're developing the nation's youth. They're engaging with the real people on the ground. Safaricom are allowing us to get on with the job we're doing. We're not having any influence whatsoever about how we choose the players, and it's truly wonderful. My commitment is that I've been in this industry for 21 years. I've seen some wonderful players come through projects that I've been involved in. I'm positioned very well to introduce any talented youngsters we see to European clubs. My key goal is I want players to start earning the money they deserve to be earning. And some of the talent that I've seen and the coaches have seen, and remember, some of the coaches, the UEFA coaches, are over here at the Safaricom Next Generation Search for Kenya's Unfound Talent. They're coaching with EPL players on a month-by-month basis. And they're saying to me, we need to take these players. We need to take them to Europe because they're that good. They just haven't been discovered. And I think the combination of Safaricom being involved, MPD Academy's been involved, we've got a great future together, which will stay.
When you say you've got no influence whatsoever, can't I come and say that, for example, Michael Okinyi's nephews at the tryouts, I come with a stack of cash, give them to the head coach and tell the head coach, look, this is my boy, I need him in.
Yeah.
How secure is the system that I cannot be able to do that?
You know, the best people to answer that question is the thousands and thousands who've turned up for the tryouts so far, and the spectators. When you turn up for a tryout, the coaches are not permitted to engage with any of the adults prior to starting the tryout. They appear from the changing rooms, the clubhouse. They have no interaction prior to setting out their coaching drills. They don't interact with the players other than to coach them. Whenever a player approaches them to say who they are or what, they tell them, talk to me after the tryouts are over. If an adult goes to talk to them, they ask the adults not to discuss things with them whilst the tryouts are going on. All adults are kept behind a secure area so they don't interfere with the coaching. And in addition to that, the coaches themselves, when they're scoring the young players, the boys and girls who are at the search, at the Safaricom Next Generation Search, they don't even talk to themselves about what they score in the players. They don't know who the players are. They have no idea if that player's from the wealthiest family, from the poorest family, and that's been proven in the fact that I'm privy to the players who've been selected so far. And I was only talking to Safaricom about this just a day or two ago, saying that we've actually got young players coming from the slums, from orphanages, from very well-to-do background families. We're getting the whole combination. Nobody's influencing us. Nobody is talking to the coaches, and not even the coaches talk to each other about who's getting the high scores. It's the head coach, who is a highly regarded individual, who gets the scores at the end of the day and collates them.
Well, you see, you've got 21 years experience in terms of in football and management. That's why you've got MPD academies. What is MPD all about? You're based in the UK, that's what we know, but what does MPD do?
Well, we created MPD in 2012 because for 2 decades I've been running some of the biggest international youth events in the world, where teams globally travel to participate in them. Highly regarded events such as the English Super Cup, the Dubai International Super Cup, and we see an abundance of youngsters being approached by a huge amount of EPL scouts, football league scouts, who take them on, and we needed to have a platform to engage with those good players that we discover. When they come to our events, they attend the MPD Academies tryouts, and then we have the introduction. We've learned that over the years, and we're bringing this now to Kenya.
Okay, and final question, would the players from Kenya get an opportunity to be in the events organized by MPD Academies?
The players from Kenya who are successful at the tryouts?
At the tryouts, yes.
Yeah, of course. If they're successful at the tryouts, they come on to the academy. If they're not successful, it doesn't mean they're not as good. It means we've only had a short time with them. We're going to continue the Safaricom Next Generation by sending Safaricom coaching drills to everybody that's joined MPD academies throughout the Safaricom Next Generation tour of Kenya. And we'll constantly engage with them. They'll all become members of MPD, and we've got a huge future together.
Okay. Thank you very much, Terry.
Michael, it's my pleasure.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Well, back to you, Bernard.
Absolutely, a very insightful discussion there on nurturing football talent. And we head on to the intrigues of the Football Kenya Federation once again, and they have cracked the whip on the FKF Premier League clubs that skipped Saturday's matches, stating that those teams will forfeit points and further disciplinary action shall be taken against them. The Federation believes that the same clubs should be struck off the remaining fixtures, schedules and the points thereof awarded to their opponents. Some of the FKF Premier League members held a press conference, of course, earlier last week to warn the Federation that they will no longer honour their fixtures because certain teams were receiving preferential treatment while referees have not been paid for about 6 months. Now, some of the weekend's fixtures did not take place. Of course, I remember the question that you asked this afternoon as far as where is this lovely balls here. I remember the 20 balls. 5 have already been won. They were won last week. Of course, we're asking a question each and every day. And this afternoon, we're asking you, name the Liverpool striker who has Kenyan ties. And I can tell you for a fact, Wahiga, it's interesting that the feedback, we asked another question regarding the FKF Premier League. And the feedback so far is this channel towards people winning the balls. Simple, respond to the two, but on the 22422 platform, also respond to the question that we're asking you. Perhaps maybe it will be more inclined to select whoever will be responding to other questions as well. But nonetheless, name the Liverpool striker who has Kenyan ties. Name the Liverpool striker who has Kenyan ties, and I will be able to win one of these balls. 15 remaining. One will be won today. We'll be selecting one winner today, Wahiga.
Well, Bernardo, one thing I realized yesterday is that Kenyans really want to win. For some of them, it doesn't matter at what cost. They will do whatever they can. I'm going to leave that matter there for now. Remember, talk to us on all our social media platforms. 22422 is our SMS line. The hashtag is Monday Football. I believe our director will be scrolling some of the tweets even as the show continues. But for now, we're getting to an interesting new segment. And for this, I need help from DJ Crossfade. Let's hear that song, Crossfade. I need some cash money, even can you be Right, and that segment and that song is to cue us into a quick segment. We're going to be taking a look at who are the top 10 richest African footballers. Right, and they'll be coming up on my screen shortly. There we go. We begin with, from number 10, Christopher Samba, 820 million Kenya shillings. That's what he's said to be worth by Forbes list. He was born in France of Congolese origin. He plays for a Russian team, that's Dynamo Moscow. And he's believed to have gotten his wealth at Anzi Mahachkala, where he earned 16.4 million Kenya shillings per week, not per month, per week. So there we go. Number 10 on the... I don't mind being number 11. Let me be honest with you guys. Let's go over to number 9 now, where we have Seydou Keita, familiar to most of you, said to be worth 1.02 billion Kenya shillings. He's a Malian striker, plays for Valencia in Spain. That's where he is right now. And he played for a Chinese Super League club, that's Dalian Airbian, where he earned 1.6 billion Kenya shillings in 1 year. Those numbers simply mind-boggling. Move on now to number 8. Where we have Frederick Kanute, said to be worth 1.2 billion Kenya shillings. All these figures verified by Forbes Africa. He's also a Malian striker, plays for a Chinese super club, that's Beijing Guan. And also, it is said that in 2007, he actually purchased his local mosque for 71.8 million Kenya shillings. There we go. So don't complain about how much lunch is in Kenya. People are spending 70 million Kenya shillings just like that. Move on to the next. Number 7 now, familiar to many of you, John Obi Mikel, said to be worth 1.5 billion Kenya shillings, a Nigerian midfielder, and apparently he earns 513 million shillings per year. There we go. We're getting closer and closer now. We move on to number 6, Kolo Toure. Doesn't need much of an introduction here. You know him and his famous brother. 1.8 billion shillings is what Forbes rates Kolo Toure at, an Ivorian defender. He's played for all the big clubs, Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool. But he's also got a very lucrative deal with Adidas. So that contributes to that figure that you see on your screen, 1.8 billion Kenya shillings. Let's get into the top 5 now. And Michael Essien ushers us into that region. Ghanaian footballer said to be worth 2.5 billion Kenya shillings. He's a free... I beg your pardon. He's actually completed one of Africa's most expensive moves. He was moving from Lyon in France to Chelsea in a move rumored to be worth 2.5 billion Kenya shillings. Right now he plays for a Greek side, that is Panathinaikos. Number 4 now, Emmanuel Adebayo. He's a free agent for now, but I don't think he's too worried about money. Said to be worth 2.7 billion Kenya shillings. Togolese forward, and he used to earn 27.5 million Kenya shillings per week. Per week. My director has made some noise in my ear. The good thing about Adebayo, he's also known for his charity work. So he gives his money back. You know, he gives back to the community and to the society. We get into the top 3 now. Who's going to be featuring in that? Yaya Toure comes in at number 3, worth 6.6 billion Kenya shillings. Ivorian midfielder, plays for Manchester City, and he's said to earn 1.5 billion shillings per year. 1.5 billion shillings per year. The gentlemen in studio are all nodding their heads. I think they're thinking about their bank accounts. We'll talk a bit about that later on. Number 2 now, Didier Drogba. There he is, and that's when he was joining Montreal Impact, his Canadian club. That's where he is right now. His salary over the years has ranged from about 17.4 million shillings per week to 33.3 million shillings per week. He's not earning as much money now as he was previously, but with combined fortune of 7.1 billion Kenya shillings, he's also not crying about his financial status. And drum roll, please, DJ. My DJ is asleep, but the man who's not asleep is Samuel Eto'o, because he is worth 9.2 billion Kenya shillings. Cameroonian striker, plays for Turkish club Antalyaspor. I hope I've said that name correctly. Even if I haven't, that money is what's mind-boggling me at the moment. And of course, at one point, he was one of the richest players in the world, if not the richest, because he was being paid 2.5 billion shillings per year. Work for 3 years, and you can retire for the rest of your life. Now you know. What's your financial status like? I'm not going to tell you mine after those numbers. Bernard, Mike, your thoughts?
I'm just trying to think. Emerick Aubameyang is not on that list?
Not. According to Forbes, no.
Are you brothers are not on that list?
According to Forbes, no. And no Kenyan.
So that's where I'm coming next. All these flashy cars you see here, and they're not even in top 10. Am I there number 11 and 12?
You know what I'm going to do next week? Maybe I'll get top 20.
We should go to top 10. For me, if you don't get any Kenyan in top 20, let's go top 30.
Top 30 we might.
And we go until top whatever they get in.
Who do you think he will be in top 30 list?
Maybe Michael Kenya.
Waiga, looking at those figures, of course, you look at the top 10.
That's right.
Cumulatively, I think those are budgets for some countries.
When you add up,
Eto'o can give us a loan.
Budgets.
Actually, Eto'o can give us a loan. We sort out so many problems we have
that we have here
in this country.
He can fix El Nino preparedness.
Yes.
He can fix teachers. He can fix
FKFPL.
You can get a stadium. You can get a stadium.
And fund the FKF elections as well.
Oh.
He can do all that. I think let's go. I think the money figures Mike is causing us to go crazy. Is it time for a break now?
Yes, we go to a short break. When we come back, we'll be dealing with the FKFPL clubs. Quite interesting reactions coming up on social media. Don't go away.
They hustle for money, hustle for money. When I hustle every day, I hustle, I stay with money. I put my life on the line, my brother. It wasn't